picking up midstream, as it were. Okay, exit. So we've got everything. And we looking. Okay, wait for the next pulse. There we go. Accept. All right, obviously, we're back on Ticked Off Southern Sledgehammer. And, all right, so what was the result of the previous stream? Well, nothing. No responses, no emails, no red flags, no notifications. Okay, so why? I mean, I went out of my way to ring various bells and annoy, basically give automated, the automated filtration system. There aren't any. It's entirely hand edited. Went out of a way to give the hand edited censors a reason to act. As far as I can tell, no direct, no overt action was taken. There's a couple of good reasons why no overt action would be taken, and kind of need to go back and talk about Elon Musk for a moment or three. No, we're not clear this room yet. Uh, thing. Okay, I realize I say the thing is quite a lot, and I realize that sounds a lot like a certain U.S. president who also has a catch, a tell. You always know when he's saying something that's completely a lie, when he leans in and starts whispering and says something about a thing. And all right, so verbally speaking, need to lay off the thing is uh, common because, well, there's a connotation with using that verbiage that is not positive. All right. A factor involved. And this is something where the Twitter board and the left wing radical, the radicalized paid propaganda press didn't really think everything through when Elon Musk bought Twitter or made an overture to buy Twitter. And so I'm just going to lay out the sequence of events again. I'm pretty sure I've done it before, but I'll lay them out again. Elon Musk, yeah, I consider him to be a scam artist. I think his preferential type of scam is a fake it till he makes it scam. He fakes something until enough things change or enough people have invested in it that he can actually do what he was faking the whole time. That may or may not be an adequate summation, but I think that's the kind of scammer that Elon Musk is. It's just fake it till he makes it. Uh, kind of keeping this in mind, when you look back over the history of Elon Musk working and hiring with Tesla and SpaceX, Elon Musk was hiring a number of different engineers from different fields and basically headhunting some of the big tech companies dry. And it's still very much said that if you are a left wing nutcase, you probably drive a Tesla because you probably bought the lie that a Tesla is more environmentally friendly than a petrol car. Well, no, it's not by any stretch of any imagination. Uh, but chances are, if you're a left wing nutcase, you probably have bought a Tesla or you're probably invested in Rivian or one of the other electric supercar manufacturers. And you're highly invested in the whole hybrid ecosystem and so on and so forth. I mean, you're actually doing more damage to the environment with the batteries in your car than the petrol engine will ever cause, but Hey, you're the one who can't do the research, not me. Your faults aren't really my problems until you make them my problems. Um, did I dip? Oh, there it is. Okay. I jetted right past it and it took too long to load. Fun. Now I gotta leap all the way back. Anyways, Elon Musk was seen by many of those who were in that left wing mindset, if you will. I'm going to crank my audio a little bit so there's at least something. Uh, do I have you? Why are you sound? Okay, there. I've got audio in my ear, and I'm seeing some audio pop through. So, all right. We're probably good so that you can kind of hear what's. All right. And okay, okay, we got some green going, and we've cleared the exit. Okay. Um. Anyways, Elon Musk was hiring a lot of technical engineering staff out of big tech, and on top of that, Elon Musk is on camera, um, on a podcast, radio show, whatever, I forget what, smoking pot and he drinks and he goes to bars and so on and so forth. The thing is, Elon Musk, from a lot of perspectives, was just another average, ordinary guy. He wasn't any different uh, than what the engineers. Big. Did I pass right? I guess I did. We're looking for a. Oh, there's the hostage. There's Infernia. Now we just need to find a glacier. Okay, anyway. So Elon Musk, he's been hiring all of these talented people. He's been hanging out with them, doing the same drugs they do, uh, drinking the same drinks they do, and that's kind of a key part of where how things go. And that Elon Musk has pulled out engineers from Tesla, engineers from Google, engineers from Facebook, engineers from Oculus. He's pulled out engineers from Amazon. It's pretty much name a big tech company that has some kind of data engineering infrastructure, and Elon Musk has probably headhunted some of their top talent. All right, so now you take the top talent of some of the biggest censorship filled organizations on the planet. And what's the next step? Well, now that you've got them all working for you on your paycheck and they all think you are one of them, and you might start talking. I mean, if you've had a uh, few tequila sunrises, and a couple of malt whiskeys, and somebody finally broke out that bottle of whipped cream vodka and poured it all over the ice cream, and you're just chowing down, you might start to talk about some things that you may not normally talk about under other circumstances. And that's kind of a key point to what went wrong with Twitter and why the shockwave for suddenly felt across the entirety of the social media landscape, or rather, the backing of the social media landscape. The companies that have been using social media to data mine, farm, and otherwise gain information they couldn't otherwise legally get their hands on. And the key point I think to be made here is that before Elon Musk even bought Twitter or even made the purchase offer or did anything, Elon Musk already knew that a vast amount of the traffic was fraudulent. Elon Musk already knew that a vast majority of the censorship was the result of hand-edited entries, not a computerized algorithm, not a filter looking for various search terms. It was the direct result of somebody sitting at a keyboard making these specific changes and hand censoring comment from being passed on. Now, if Elon Musk already knew that, already knew for a fact before he even actually went after and made an offer to buy Twitter, if Elon Musk already knew that, why didn't Twitter guess that he already knew the information on the bots? That Elon Musk already knew that vast majorities of traffics that the Hollywood actors, the big corporations paying for advertising traffic, they were paying just for bot manipulation direct from Twitter and weren't actually getting anything on the we're not getting a return on our investment in terms of legitimate people being seeing a specific encounter because of their interests. Basically, what I'm saying is Twitter's social graph never really existed. I think it's fair to say now that Facebook's social graph hasn't ever really existed either. It's all been hand-edited, handwritten. And I don't have anything to counter Hamadon damage, okay? And I'm arranged, so I need to start with the blues, and I don't want to get too close because not I'm not carrying any ambrosias. I'll let one of the melees start off. Anyway, so it's not. I don't really want to call it a. As I think about how to. As I focus on not dying. Okay. Taking a few hits. Okay, I need to get back out of here. Break line of sight. Wait for the healing debuff to decay. Alright, we're back ready to go. Alright, I think that was all the blues. Where's my jetpack? Okay, where's our holder? There's one of our holders. Where's our other holder? Our other holder. Okay, other holder. As we focus on the minor Hamadon raid. What do I got? What was that anyways? Oh, Clarion. Maybe not the most useful of a scenario. Anyways, so going back to the point kind of to be made is that Elon Musk already knew ahead of time that Twitter's traffic manipulations were hand edited. And the basically said in a previous post, the damage was done. Even if Elon Musk doesn't follow through and purchase Twitter at this point, if he just, for whatever reason, walks away from the deal, uh, he's not going to finish it out. It's, oh well, done. Well, by now, Twitter stock, and for that matter, most of the massive social media, there's the investor trust. The investor trust has been disintegrated. It's now not a question of whether or not there was hand editing and the sanctioned use of robots to prop up various traffics. The question is no longer did that happen. The question is how bad was it? How much was hand edited? And how much money? Where did the money go for all of it? For everyone who paid Twitter for ads that had no return on investment, what was the money spent on? Where did the money go? Which are some pretty big questions to pose and ask. And uh, whether or not Elon Musk finishes buying Twitter, those questions are now out there and are now being asked on a wide scale. And it's not the only places where those kinds of questions are being asked. The rest of the social media industry now faces the very real problem. Uh, and we're staying to do the Hamadan buttons. Now faces the very real problem that if Twitter was doing it, and Twitter was the small player involved in everything, how much was everyone else doing? And I think that brings us back to the very real fear at the Google YouTube level is they've lost engineers who also went to work for Elon Musk, who may have also spilled that, very likely spilled that the search results were not the result of an algorithm, that there was massive hand edited filtering. And we're probably going to get another cheap transport, so I need to hang around. Yep. We may be doing another task force. All right. Going back to trying to maintain focus on what I'm doing and talk at the same time, not so easy. Do I even have? There it is. And start the cutscene. This is one of those where I think I'll just have to refocus and do the... Oh. Yeah, that player has 1 star. Let's find out what Speedy we're doing next. Building, vault, black helicopter, backfill. Oh, yeah, that's why they got 1 star. Alright, let's not forget to cut the screen for a second. Betting on everyone meeting up for a market crash. guess while I'm waiting for everyone else to either swap or decide what they're doing. Alright, gonna go and get back to the original subject. Alright, Elon Musk already knew before he even murmured that he was going to purchase Twitter. He already knew something was rotten. He probably already had direct information from the developers who had actually written or implemented the tools that were used to achieve the hand edited filtering. Thus, if we keep that in mind that Elon Musk already knew something was rotten at Twitter, already knew something was rotten at the rest, why did Elon Musk start with Twitter instead of starting with a large target? Well, other than the fact the other targets were larger. That's because it was the other strategic goal achieved with Twitter. And it's something that we've heard quite a lot from the liberal left. I mean, if you don't like how we're censoring social media, you can just go make your own. You can go make your own platform to broadcast on. You can go make your own social media network. And the actual free speech crowd, the Voltaire-esque free speech crowd, those who will defend your right to express your opinion, even if they highly disagree with what you say or what you believe. The Voltaire crowd kind of looked at us and said, well, we've been doing that. We've done that with Gab. We've done that with Mastodon. We've done that with Rumble. We've done it over and over and over. And yet, every time we get together and have a big platform, none of the people who are on the other platforms will come to us. Most notably, many of the big corporations. You don't see Coca-Cola maintaining a presence on Gab. You don't see Coca-Cola maintaining a presence on Parler. You don't see Amazon offering share to Gab on Amazon store pages. You don't see Newegg offering share to Mastodon on Newegg pages. You don't see the integration of websites and services with providers that are not liberal, politically oriented. And that's a big problem. And that's why Elon Musk, for better or for worse, smartly or unwisely, uh, or wisely or unwisely, or smartly or less than intelligently, or smartly or retardedly, however you want to phrase it. When Elon Musk went after Twitter, he quickly showed and proved again, this is damage done, that the left doesn't actually believe in free speech alternatives. The left does not believe in giving everyone a place to voice their dissent. The left does not believe in allowing other people to say that the left is wrong. And by buying Twitter with the stated goal of restoring free speech and ending the censorship, and then the big deal that the left had made out of Twitter being bought by Elon Musk, and that the end of the censorship as we knew it, and the free inability to freely share opinions without being censored on, to be judged by the weight of the opinion itself, not judged by somebody saying, "Oh, you can't say that. I don't agree with that." You can say it. I then have the option to then shoot you down and prove you wrong. And if you want to come back and argue with me, then you're the one who just lost credibility because you just got proven wrong. It's that's the whole point of censorship is it stifles the proof that one side is wrong from being shared. And by making the overtures to purchase Twitter, Elon Musk showed the deep financial investment the left had in controlling a narrative, not the narrative, a narrative, that all of those corporations, all of those businesses that had an investment in Twitter, that had an investment in Facebook, that weren't willing to implement any other social network, well, now they were going to be subjected to people could actually counter them, if they support a policy that the vast majority of the population doesn't agree with. Well, if Twitter becomes a uh, bastion of free speech where people can express their opinion, then those business entities will quickly find that their Twitter feeds will be responded to by people going, no, don't do that. That's dumb. And that quickly showed how much control the left has had on the state or the ability of being able to share information freely. That Elon Musk buying Twitter is such an existential threat to the left's political ambitions and the new liberal world order. Oh, gee, that was smooth move there, X-Lax. Because of the damage done by that, it's become much harder for everyone else involved in the tech sphere, else involved in social media, to keep the suppression up because now it's known that Twitter was actively suppressing. It's now known that it wasn't a computer algorithm, that it was hand edited, that Twitter was using robots, bots, text, whatever you want to call them, to artificially inflate political opinions that they agreed with, or at least employees at Twitter agreed with, and then use those same bots to silence views that they didn't agree with. Well, if Elon Musk was able to get that out of Twitter, and he's also hired engineers from Google and, or rather, Alphabet, what does Elon Musk have on Alphabet? I guarantee you it ain't pretty, and it's probably very much the same thing. It's going to be the same hand edited filters, somebody manually listening and deciding that we need to shut this person up. How do we do it? Well, we can shadow ban them. We can prevent their content from being searched. We can prevent people from being able to click in directly to a user page. We can just make the user page not searchable. We can disable tags. Uh, you know, and there's all sorts of different ways that you could even base a search by IP address. If you are searching for this person and you're on an IP address range that is identical uh, to the IP address range that this person used to log into their account, then we show the search results. But if they're on an IP address that is not related to the IP address that the user is associated with, we don't show the search results. And that's the kind of hand edited filtering that Google is definitely has implemented. It's definitely something YouTube has implemented. And now there is a press on that there's a minuscule chance, well, I would actually say there's a very good chance that Elon Musk has on a thumb drive or multiple thumb drives secured in multiple locations, probably some that are secured in law offices that are in quote unquote neutral countries, and in some cases may even be secured in law offices in quote unquote hostile countries, of exactly the source code and the compiled code used to implement that censorship. If that's what Elon Musk actually has, then he effectively has Alphabet, Twitter, Facebook, uh, pretty much by the balls, if you'll pardon the term, because they really don't want those comments to get out. They really don't want that source code to get out, and they definitely don't want anyone being able to reverse engineer that source code or compile that source code and compare it to something else that may have been executed in a browser on a server instance and captured and determined that this is the same exact censorship code, it's just been obfuscated somehow. So very big problem there. So what's the easiest solution? Torch the censorship code. That's pretty much simple as that. Get rid of it, get it out of the system, and once if when that happens, then if somebody goes looking for it either with a court order or a grand jury indictment, there's nothing there to find. The source code is gone, and don't know what you're looking for, officer. We have no such data here. So I think that's why I didn't actually get a response in the previous live stream, which was again intentionally scripted to trigger a response of some kind. No response. Well, either Google has stopped censoring, which I seriously doubt, or they just decided that okay, we're not going to do the Streisand effect. Last time we told this person that we pulled one of their videos for the content within it, we then gave them proof that we were in fact filtering the content. Let's not do that again. Let's just let them try and figure out, not give them any reason to suspect that we're filtering the content, even if we're totally filtering the content. And, okay, fine, whatever. Uh, it can only go on for so long. People can only be fooled for so often. You can start asking in other places that Google doesn't control. Hey, did you see that live stream? Hey, did you hear what I said? Hey, let me grab this clip of this because I already took that theory down. And if it's not there, and yet I can show that it is there, well, now I've got even more evidence that you're just filtering me. So why? Why would you want to? Why assign someone to watch my feeds if the only reason that they're there is to say, scream, uh-oh, he said something that's going to be dangerous. Let's filter this guy. Not really the smartest move. Or to reuse the phrase from earlier, smooth move, X-Lax. That's called prosecutable evidence. And if you think I'm joking, no, it's not. It's not really a joke. Uh, okay. Uh, and I feel I do need to go down that rabbit hole. For a state attorney general who has a number of citizens in their state who were affected by censorship, who were affected by hand edited filtering, who were affected by somebody at Google making the conscious decision to pull videos or eliminate videos or limit the viewership of the videos purely based on political bias. And because of this, the person in question or the person who was affected by the censorship lost out on a financial opportunity, aka advertising revenue, aka kickbacks from people who had YouTube Premium that were watching the videos. If the person lost out on a financial opportunity because Google was editing and filtering based on political reasons, then that is actually considered a crime. Do you know what kind of crime it's called? It can either be prosecuted as theft, it can be prosecuted as fiscal malfeasance, and there's a couple other ways that one could go about prosecuting such an involvement. It's one thing if nobody is watching your videos because you're not making content that they don't want to see. It's another thing if somebody is the provider is pulling your videos because it's political content they don't agree with. Now, to be fair to Google, they do have a private service. They are not a government entity. They are not technically covered under the First Amendment. Google is not trying to get anybody arrested for having expressed an opinion, or at least Google, so far as today, is not trying to use governmental resources to arrest people who express a counter opinion on Google platforms. But Google kind of already does that in China, where information on political dissidents may or may not be readily available to CCP authorities, and then somebody who expressed a dissident opinion on YouTube that is in or CCP controlled territories may or may not find themselves in a 10 by 10 windowless cell for the rest of their remaining lives for having dared speak out against President Xi and the communist China regime. Yeah, well, they can bite my ass. Actually, I probably shouldn't say that because President Xi may actually try and take a bite out of my ass. Not really sure I want that. Pretty sure I don't want that. It's got kind of a big bite. So bringing this back around to, sometimes I do get a little more than a little enjoyment out of just lobbing stones for the sake of lobbing stones and seeing which way the pond ripples, or if it ripples at all. And okay, I'm a lot like the Register in that way, biting the hands that feed IT. Yeah, just throw some stones. And the other way, and someone who used to watch on a regular basis, Dan Bongino, I think he kind of phrased it best when he phrased it as, all I'm doing is asking questions. And here's a good tell. If all you're doing is asking questions and somebody screams you can't ask that or shuts you up because you're asking questions. Let me phrase this another way. When, at any point in history, were the good guys the ones who were burning the books? When, at any point in history, were the good guys the ones who are telling you you can't think like that, or you can't question that assumption, or you can't question that motive, or you can't question that analysis? I'm not saying question everything, but maybe that's what you may have to do is question everything, all the motives. What motive do I have? And let's bring this around to me for a second. What motive do I have to just log in and play a game and discuss political commentary? Am I making any money off of this? Not as long as I'm on the YouTube platform. There is no way that Google is ever going to pay me any AdSense money, even if I had a stream big enough to require them to say, yes, you earned some money. They're never going to pay out. So, what's my motivation? Do I want to mislead people? Well, if I wanted to mislead people, I could just spout the same thing that the press is spouting. You can get misled every single day. So if I'm just doing this for free after I get off of a paying job and just running around having fun in a game while trying to have deeper conversations, admittedly with myself, because there's no one else on this channel to talk to. Um, yeah, I would like to, there's a lot of radio shows that they get better if they have someone to bounce something off of, someone there to comment, someone there to play off of. But a lot of podcasts don't really get that. They just get somebody who just is able to talk for unknown length of time and try to make the points as best they can, either through audio descriptions or through, if you're doing a webcast, doing some kind of video presentation, setting the stage for this event that you're seeing goes along with what you're hearing. So again, bringing us back to me, what's my motivation? Why would I be doing this? I'm not making money off of it. I'm not being paid to do this. So why do it? What's my motivation? And you might be asking, well, why don't you just tell us what your motivation is? Well, that really doesn't matter now, does it? Because you, regardless of what I say, my motivation is, do you believe it? Do you believe that what I'm saying is trustworthy? Do you believe that I'm trying to mislead you? Or do you believe that I'm trying to ask questions in such a way as to get you to think about the context of a subject? Context is incredibly important. If you don't know the context, if you don't know the history, if you not have no idea what's going on, then you may as well just not know anything at all. If you're just making decisions effectively blindly, if you're just listening without questioning the intent. And that's why, question me. Why would I be doing this? You can come up with all sorts of different reasons for yourself. Some of them, yeah, I could guess that. You could say, well, he's crazy. Well, yeah, you probably could make that argument. And to a certain extent, from a various political spectrum, it would not be entirely an invalid argument to make. Now, did I just call myself crazy? Well, think about what I say from the perspective of a liberal for a second. I say that government is not the answer. I say that government can never be the answer. I say that regulation is inherently bad. I say that Jesus Christ is king. I say that Elohim is real. Now imagine those statements from a leftist for a second. That's crazy talk. That's psycho talk. That person should be locked up. They're not safe. They don't think like we do. Well, of course I don't think like you do. I'm capable of thinking. Or at least I believe I'm capable of thinking to the extent of I think therefore I am. Well, I think I'm capable of thinking, so therefore I must exist. And some other people might come along and say, well, you're not thinking at all. Okay, well, you're free to hold that opinion. Pretty sure you're wrong, but you're free to have that opinion. And that's kind of the point. Again, question. I'm not saying question everything, because I can't say question everything. Because there are times in which things will be said in which you will have to accept that that is what has happened on faith. You're just going to have, you're just going to have to say we can't question this. We need to move forward. But if you don't question it, are you really moving forward? That's kind of, I guess, the other. Um, sorry. I guess that's kind of the other overarching point to be made. And that someone who tells you to question everything, what's their motive? What do they want you to question? I want people in the United States to question who put the Democrats in power. I want them to question why were vote counts stopped? Why were vote counts left incomplete? I want them to question why were votes harvested? Why were ballots harvested after the election had ended? Where did those votes come from? I want people to question what's going on with Biden's notes. What's going on with his behavior? Is this an act? Is this senility? Is this something that is induced by a drug? Ask questions. I'm not saying question everything. I am saying ask questions. And here's the key difference. It's one thing to question everything, to ask a question of everything, to ask the who, what, why, when, and where of everything. But if you're not sure which question you're asking, if you question everything, you may miss the questions that you need to ask. It's not question everything, it's know the questions that you should be asking. And who, what, when, where, or why is a very good place to start for that. Who did this? Why did they do it? Maybe where did they do it? Does that context matter? When did they do it? Does that context matter? Who, what, when, where, why? Why did they do it? Why would Biden, this is a very real question, why would Biden terminate the leases for oil drilling, oil pipelines, and oil refineries? And then send a letter to the oil executives, you need to produce more oil, gas prices are too high. Why would you do something like that? Why would you cut and castrate the capability of an oil company to produce refined petroleum and then say you need to produce more? What's the objective? What is gotten out of that? Why? Ask for the context. And that's what Elon Musk has done with Twitter. He's been forcing them to answer the why. Why did they have all these bots to begin with? What were these bots being used for? And we already have some of those answers. We already know that those bonds were being used to inflate Hollywood celebrities. That Twitter was effectively accepting money to make this actor or this actress popular, that they were accepting money to make this movie or this television show popular, or conversely, they were accepting money to make this show or this television, this movie unpopular. We also know definitely that they were being paid to make political opinions unpopular. And this is the final question you should be asking. Where did the money go? When somebody pays for a service, where did the money go? Follow the money. Who paid Twitter? Who paid Google? Who paid Biden's staff? Answer those questions, and the results might be more terrifying than you really want to believe. I'm Aurian Archive, and I hope you have a better day than my nightmares are going to give me.